The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Former President Rodrigo Duterte and former Senator Laila de Lima faced each other for the first time in years at the Senate hearing yesterday. The two were just one seat apart from each other, with former Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Chief Aaron Aquino sitting between them. Recall that de Lima was implicated in the believed drug trade when she was openly criticizing the president. All drug charges against de Lima were dismissed. Duterte and de Lima did not have the opportunity to confront each other. However, the former senator had the chance to criticize the former president during the hearing.
We all heard from the horse's mouth that there are indeed death squads. These are very clear. The Davao Death Squad to liquidate criminals, are suspected criminals.
Meanwhile, families and lawyers of alleged victims of extrajudicial killings confronted former President Rodrigo Duterte yesterday. Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho has that report.
In front of former President Rodrigo Duterte, Father Flaviano Villanueva of Program Paghilom showed off this very long list of names of alleged victims of extrajudicial killings during the Duterte administration.
329 names. Pinas lang lahat. Lahat po ay may pamilya na wala ng breadwinner. At ngayon ay naghihikahos, ngunit lumalaban.
Father Flaviano says, per his records, more than 3,000 had been killed in the first 100 days of Duterte as president. One infamous casualty during the drug war was teenager Kian de los Santos, who police said fought back during an anti-illegal drugs operation in 2017, or Nanlaban. In front of the senators, his uncle blasted the PNP's account that Kian's father was a drug pusher. Eventually, Senator Ronald De La Rosa, the PNP chief back then, admitted the teen should not have been killed. Senator Risa Hontiveros asked the former president if he also took responsibility for the killing of Kian de los Santos, as with other killings during the drug war. This sparked a heated debate.
I am basing my question dun sa mga sinabi ninyo repeatedly. Parang tuwing Oktubre nga sinasabi nyo na you will take responsibility.
Correct.
So now let me ask you about Carl Anthony Nunez, 20 years old. Walang nahanap na droga o baril sa katawan niya. Sabi nga ng investigador, mistaken identity. Do you take responsibility for his death?
Yung policy, ma'am, hindi mo nakuha yung yung policy ng presidente.
Nakuha ko po, policy maker
din po ako. I was talking about the policy. I take full responsibility yung sinabi ko na war on drugs.
You said,
Pero
sir,
kung
you can hold me responsible for any
specific crime,
yes, sir. You spoke
hindi
about
pwede yan.
You spoke about specific
At saka,
crimes.
Kung sabihin ko, I will take full responsibility, magdating tayo sa korte, hindi naman tatanggapin yan.
Well, Mr. Chair, and if the resource person could keep his volume and pitch to a normal
trying
level.
to pin me down on
Mr. Chair, you are pinned down by your own statements of October.
You have to pin
Mr.
me down
Chair.
low.
I'm not trying to pin you
lawfully.
down
The
on
exchanges
air.
are no longer productive.
Mr.
The hearing
Chair.
is
Do not pin me
suspended.
down on semantics.
This prompted Senator Coco Pimentel to suspend the hearing. When they resumed, Duterte clarified that he wasn't irked by Hontiveros' question, but was just excited to answer. He also apologized for what happened. Human rights lawyer Chel Jokno meanwhile got into an exchange with the senators over terms that were used in the course of the drug war: negate and neutralize. Armed with police records and case testimonies, Jokno made the case that when police used those terms, that equated to an order to kill. Jokno presented the PNP's Memorandum Circular No. 16 issued on July 1, 2016 by De La Rosa that defined the parameters of Oplan Double Barrel.
Ang kampanyang kontra-illegal na droga ng Administrasyong Duterte ay hindi lang basta-basta nagsimula sa kalsada at barangay. Ang pinagmula ng war on drugs ay isang utos o command na galing mismo sa pinakamataas na opisyal ng Philippine National Police. Ano ang pinagkaiba ng Project Double Barrel sa mga dating anti-illegal drugs campaign ng pamahalaan? Dalawa po ang pinagkaiba. Unang-una, may utos sa loob ng command circular na yan na mag-neutralize at mag-negate ng mga suspected illegal drug personalities. Pangalawa, ang utos ay gumamit ng drug list para tugisin ang mga sangkot umano sa illegal na droga.
Visibly angry, De La Rosa vehemently denied the accusation, saying people misinterpreted the term neutralize. He even looked up the Google definition of the word.
If I will give you the Google meaning of neutralize, ito pong nakasabi. It is a verb. Render something ineffective or harmless by applying an opposite force or effect. So ano ibig sabihin yan? Render something ineffective or harmless by applying an opposite force or effect. Ano yung opposite force or effect na sinasabi? Yan ang sinasabi mong negation. Negation operation. Na puro killing lang ang gusto niyang palabasin. Kung gusto kong patayin yung mga suspect na yan, bakit pa ako gagamit ng neutralize?
Former PNP Chief Debold Sinas backed De La Rosa up, saying that when they say neutralize, it didn't mean they were ordering the police to kill. He insisted police officers were just expected to stop the suspect and the aggression with just enough equal force. Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho. We are One News.
A human rights lawyer, Attorney Shell Jokno, weighs in on the Senate drug war hearing. Jokno told the big story that he was happy with Senator Risa Ontiveros' line of questioning. But he said he also expected other lawmakers to press former President Duterte with those questions. Jokno also shared what he found striking from Duterte's remarks during the hearing.
Very striking to me were the revelations made by the former president. One, that he encouraged the police to encourage criminals to fight back so that they could be killed. And second, that he himself had a death squad.
We still have more stories after this break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. In the Philippine Star, Pope Francis has offered prayers for Filipinos affected by severe tropical storm Christine. The 87-year-old pontiff mentioned praying for them at Sunday's Angelus address at the Vatican. And in business world, the International Monetary Fund says upside risks to the outlook for inflation still persist. According to the IMF, food prices remain vulnerable to adverse supply shocks on top of rising geopolitical tensions. All candle makers are now working double time to catch up with higher demand for undas. At para bigyan mo ka ang balita, Mobile Journal, Mary Mon Reyes.
Kasabay sa pagbangon mula sa hagupit ng Bagyong Christine, tuloy pa rin ang paghahanda para sa araw ng mga yumao. Oktubre pa lang, inihahanda na ng mga caretaker ang sementeryo para sa pagdumog ng mga bibisita ngayong paparating na All Souls Day. Bukod sa paglilinis sa mga puntod, dino-double check din daw nila ang safety ng lugar, lalong bawal pa rin ang pagdala ng matatalim na bagay, paputok at iba pang makakapagdulot ng aksidente o gulo.
Pagpasok po ng October niya, busy na po. Tuwing undas, naglilinis po kami dito. Mga bandang 5:30, nililibot ko po lahat. Yung sinisilip ko lang po yung mga kwan, baka meron akong nabuksan na hindi ko na isara. Kasi marami pong kwan dito malilikot ang kamay.
Tulad ni Mang Mario, nananatili rin sa sementeryo si Basie mula October hanggang November, hindi lang para bantayan ang kanyang yumaong mahal sa buhay, kundi para rin magbenta ng kandila at merienda. Say pa niya, mahirap ang bumenta lalo na ngayong tag-ulan, kaya minabuti niyang magtinda na ng mas maaga.
Kandila, soft drinks, tinapay, hanggang mga 6, November 6. Matagal na kami nagtitinda kasi sa pansyon. Tagang diyan kami natutulog talaga. So, 20 pesos
laki.
ang tubo.
Edi ang benta niyo po yan mga magkano?
120, mga 130 ganyan.
Ang mga simbahan naman, tuloy ang mga misa para sa faithful departed at paghahanda ng mga kolumbaryo. Posible man maging maulan pa rin sa susunod na linggo, pero hindi raw nito matitinag ang obserbasyon ng undas. Masarap sa pakiramdam ang may pakitang pagmamahal sa mga yumao nitong paparating na undas. Pero huwag din daw kalimutan ang kaligtasan ngayong panahon ng pagbagyo. Mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes po, hatid ang muka ng balita.
And now in the U.S., Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump garnered backlash because of his allies' vulgar and racist remarks in his New York rally. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani launched false and racist tirades against the Palestinians. Meanwhile, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe joked that Latinos love making babies and the U.S. state of Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage. Trump's camp quickly clarified that the president does not reflect the views of Hinchcliffe. Meantime, U.S. presidential candidate Kamala Harris visited a semiconductor plant in Michigan. Harris highlighted her support for manufacturing jobs that embrace industry tradition but with a view to current times. This is part of her campaign stops in the swing state ahead of the election day on November 5. Harris and Trump are neck and neck in the polls of the battleground states that will determine the next U.S. president. And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.